All right, so a lot of you have been asking me to weigh in on the Boogie2988 situation. It's been something that I just haven't felt like talking about. I just didn't see any value in it. But after speaking to him last night, he actually encouraged me to share my thoughts. And so I'm going to do so. I'm going to do so by describing how I met him, what I enjoyed about him, all the ways he wronged me, and then all the ways why I just don't care. A lot of you are or were fans of Boogie. I know there's a large section of my viewers that really despise him. And that's cool. I'm not going to shill for Boogie. He doesn't need me to do that. He has 4 million and shrinking subscribers to do that. But I am going to avoid dogpiling and try to explain why I just don't think it's worth it. Yes, when you YouTube for as long as Boogie has, you're going to have a collection of clips, both in context and out of context, that are offensive. The problem with Boogie, the problem Boogie has, is that he obsesses over the negative, and worse than that, he feeds it. I came across Boogie like most people did with the Francis videos, and fell in love with his content as the Francis character, as well as his content around Magic the Gathering. There is a certain brotherhood in the Magic the Gathering community, the fat neck beard community, and we kind of bonded over that way. In fact, so much so that since I had a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel, I actually used to sponsor him until Wizards of the Coast banned me a year or two ago. And I enjoyed his content. I enjoyed mostly the Francis videos, the hot takes. I didn't really follow him for gaming news and things of this matter, but there definitely was a change in him over the years. And his channel turned into more of an apology channel than anything I felt inclined to watch. This is information that I have been telling him personally over the years. Boogie and I don't know how often he interacts with other YouTubers, but I would say, have interacted quite a bit. We speak frequently on Twitter via DMs. We've spoken on the phone. We've spoken over Skype. Every time I've ever criticized him, we've spoken in a loud volume. But it's always just been like whatever to me. He is just a broken person who makes a lot of mistakes. He says a lot of stupid things, and even though he says he's joking, sometimes I don't think he is. Sometimes I think he is just so afraid to offend anyone that act in and of itself is offensive. His comments on the H3 podcast, all these types of things. Boogie has said some things legitimately in the past that have warranted criticism. Boogie has done things in the past that has warranted criticism. But he has also done a lot of innocuous things that people obsess over. And part of the problem is that Boogie specifically focuses on the negative, and it spills over into his content and his everyday persona. This, I believe, is one of the major reasons people have kind of abandoned him. Now, the YouTube algorithm has changed, and the fact is, Boogie's content has not really evolved over the years. What worked for him 3 or 4 years ago simply doesn't work anymore. And when you combine that with the personal obsession with his haters, forcing the fans that really do like him to feel alienated, this is why his channel truly is dying. If you are a fan of his and you want to support him, but you see him spending all of his time obsessing over Reddit or a mean thing someone said or an exposed video, rather than serving you, the community or the viewer, I can understand why you'd want to unsubscribe. If all you saw on his channel were apology videos, I would understand why you would unsubscribe. Many of you, my subscribers, will talk very candidly with me via live chat while I'm streaming on YouTube and tell me exactly that, yeah, I used to like Boogie, but, yeah, I used to like him, but. Most of that, I think, is due to his obsession with his haters and the fact that he is clearly, in my opinion, lost his passion. And that, to me, as a viewer, is very obvious. He doesn't really talk about magic anymore. He doesn't really talk about video games anymore. And when he does talk about these things, he doesn't seem excited. And this may be a byproduct of, his mental health issues and everything else. But I think Boogie's a classic case of somebody that could do really well by taking a few months off if you could financially afford it. Now, a lot of you have asked me to do kind of an exposed video over the years. And I'm going to put out some of the things that some of you know about. But I want to weather that by saying, if I don't care about these things, then I hope you don't care. I'm not saying that you should subscribe to Boogie. I'm not saying that you should unsubscribe to him. What I'm saying is that these are things between him and I that have happened publicly. But if I don't care about it, then I will hope that you don't either. I think that when you criticize somebody for, say, throwing their cat over their head or putting their dog in a dryer, I think it's reasonable to give them backlash. However, in Boogie's case, the backlash never ends because he is feeding into it. Yes, him and I disagreed, and I believe he sided with Magic the Gathering over me. Yes, he strongly reacted to a few criticisms that I put out about him. Yes, Boogie has contacted me multiple times letting me know that he was considering ending things. This has been an issue that has gone on for years. I talk about this now because it's out there. There's this specter that, this is something new, that this is something he's manipulating people with. No. He has told me many times over the years, over the past 5 years, that he was considering checking out, including one case where I actually had to call my sworn enemy in the Magic the Gathering community to try to get his phone number, and I ended up calling that 800 number for advice on what to do. I mean, I've seen this over the years. The broken man that Boogie says he really is. That doesn't excuse any of his behavior. That doesn't excuse any of the things that he said in videos or done in videos. But I believe that Boogie gets an unfair amount of criticism in terms of the little things. Let me use a perfect example, something he mentioned in his video, his joke about Etika. Who cares? He made a joke that he might have been faking it. I thought he was faking it. Lots of people did. So why was Boogie the guy that everyone hated for it? There are endless examples of that, okay? So to say that all criticism he receives is equal and fair is absurd. Now, he's done some stupid things, but even when you look at his H3H3 podcasting that everybody was up in arms over, what he said came out weird, but it wasn't like that horrible. But people were acting like he was just the root of all evil, and that just wasn't the case. I think he was trying to say, hey, things should be taken slow or whatever. The problem is that over the years, Boogie has pandered to both sides, and he has publicly shown that he will apologize when pushed even the slightest. This is why over the years, I have told him on the phone, in DMs, over Skype, that, dude, you've got to stop apologizing. You are who you are. Because as much as you don't want to offend people, your actual fans are getting sick of it and they're leaving. That's a huge chunk of it. People know, as much as you try to pretend who you are, people know who you are. And if you are constantly lying in public about who you are, people will call you phony, and they're going to be right when they do that. People are going to unsubscribe from your channel, and they're going to be right when they do that. And for years, I have battled with Boogie. I have been certainly on the side of things that, more negative than positive. And I do believe that he has used his mental state to manipulate me at times to go lighter on him, to go easier on him. But there's a reason why I let it happen. And it's not because I'm weak. I go hard after people all the time. It's just that when you look at everything with Etika and you look at other YouTubers that end up having like these breakdowns, whether they're public, private, or they go on for years like Boogie, is it worth it? Do I want to put out all these DMs where he's being totally heinous to me? Do I want to put out these phone calls where he's screaming at me? Why? I won't benefit at all from that. All right, I'll get some views, people will laugh, but what's funny about it? I mean, I, at the time, didn't even care. I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't believe that I had Stephen Williams on the phone screaming expletives at me, okay? I couldn't even believe it. It was surreal, especially after, going so far to try and help the guy. But that's just who he is. He's a broken man. And I don't understand why people can't just move on. Unsub, fine. Or be sub, fine. And Boogie, I've told you time and time again, I know you're going to watch this video because you watch every video that anybody makes about you religiously. You've got to stop. All right, you've got to stop reading Reddit. You've got to stop subtweeting about things people say about you on kiwi farms. You've got to stop responding to every video that's critical of you, unless you can handle it, which you cannot. And I think you would admit that privately and publicly. Okay, if people are saying heinous things about you, which they have, I understand wanting to address that, but also understand that their criticism is not coming from a place of honesty or a true concern. Most of the people I see criticizing Boogie are using that as a front to say, oh, well, I used to really like you, but now I blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine, then just move on. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want this dude to hang himself over the fact that people don't, people can't leave him alone over stupid stuff. And Boogie, you've got to stop engaging, dude. You've got to stop, and you've got to get more help. I know you say you're getting help, but are you really? You are one candidate that I think would strongly benefit from taking the summer off of making videos and just don't look at YouTube, stay off Twitter, and really, really commit to it until you can train yourself to ignore that kind of thing. I mean, you talk about how your channel's falling off. Well, YouTube rewards daily uploads. In my case, sometimes I do 2, 3, 4 uploads in a day. Think about the time you could commit to making more videos instead of reading Reddit hate about you or watching videos about you. Do you think I spend any time watching videos of people critiquing me? Normally not, unless it's probably legitimate and then my subscribers will send it to me and I might watch it. But the fact of the matter is you are incapable of that. If you would just put your head down and work, okay, get a streaming schedule, get a video schedule, set yourself to release a video every single day at 4 p.m. or every single day at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Put yourself on a schedule, and I think that you will see YouTube will reward that. Find your passion. Take some time off and figure out what you like. Because above all else, when I watch your videos, first of all, you're covering topics weeks after they've been relevant. And second of all, I can tell you really don't care about them. And while you can't care about everything if you're just an anchor or a news channel, but you're the gamer guy. You know, you're the gamer dude and people want that guy back. You can talk about Francis always being demonetized. Why not reinvent him? Why not figure out what you have to do to have Francis be monetized? Why not figure that out? Certainly, you could figure out what words you're using, what tags you're using. Why not create a new character? These are all productive things that you could be doing as opposed to obsessing endlessly over Reddit. I don't know if I'm ever going to be interested in watching your videos anymore, but I am interested in you staying around, and I'm interested in you overcoming this. Everybody loves a redemption arc, and it is possible. It's extraordinarily unlikely. But also, if you just accept the fact that you still have hundreds of thousands, forget your sub number. Forget your sub number of 4 or 5 million or whatever it is. Who cares? Right? Sub numbers are relevant. Think about the 50 to 100,000 people that watch every video you do. All right? And keep them in mind. Start by pleasing your existing customers, so to speak. And forget about wasting time on the people that clearly don't care about you. When you've been online as long as you have, you're going to generate a large group of people that strongly hate you. Even in the last year or so, I've only been kind of on this channel. This is the biggest channel I've ever had, but I've got a decent group of people that strongly dislike me. But why would I waste any time worried about them? You've got to worry about the people that care about you, the people that want to support your content. You know you're not going to please everybody. You know there's going to be people that just don't like you. In your own city, there are people that strongly dislike you. Your videos goes out worldwide, and you've been on long enough that you've got a strong contingent of people that are going to just continue to obsess over you. But you've got to stop making it worse. You've got to stop interacting with them. You've got to stop apologizing for every little thing. You don't have to come out and say, I'm a centrist TM. Just be you. And if you can't cover a topic and be even-keeled or be honest, then just don't cover it. Stop inserting yourself into political things and drama things and just get back to making videos about something you can be passionate about. Hey, retro games are a thing now. You're old enough to remember when these games originally came out. There's obviously a lot of interesting storylines there. There's a lot you could talk about. And as somebody who has started out as a lover of your content, somebody whom at least I would say is on a friend level with you, just focus on the positive. Look at all the bad things you've done to me, and I just want you to be well and stop obsessing. And forget all these people that say they're really concerned about you. Forget what I'm saying, or you know what you've got to do. All right? I don't want to see any more apologizing on your channel. I want to see you just focusing on content that is good. Boogie, for all your transgressions, for things that legitimately need critique, you've always been your own worst critic, and you've got to stop. You just gotta live your life, man. People aren't gonna like you. Embrace it. Thrive on it. Hook them up to a plow and farm money with them. That's what I do, and it keeps me sane. So please, get yourself together, dude.